I'm Carrie Canham and I'm the curator of Ceredigion Museum in Aberystwyth. We've been able to host this extraordinary exhibition which features these incredible historic objects from the Sloane collection and the work that the participants have done, and to see those things in conversation with each other, and the quality of both is so high.
My childhood dream was always to exhibit in a museum, and now is mission accomplished for me. Especially that it's a long-standing project and it's with a project with others as well, like-minded people. It's just fantastic.
I read some of the text.
I really enjoyed welcoming all the participants and their families to come and see the exhibition for the first time, to see their reactions when they went into this wonderful exhibition and how beautifully everything's so presented and how fabulous their work looks.
Are you pleased?
I am. Yeah, I was saying everything just looks so wonderful. It's really come together.
First of all, I'd like to thank Margaret from the Association of Independent Museums. Otherwise it wouldn't have happened. But not just funding the project, but putting all of the things in place so that everybody in the group could benefit as much as possible from the expertise of people who have helped us through the tricky bits. There have been tricky bits in the project. And then finally, I would really like to thank Rose. Yeah. When the opportunity came up to put in the expression of interest to the British Museum to be part of the project, I thought, ooh, I remember that woman who I'd met Rose working with her on a previous exhibition, and I was really keen to work with her again. Oh. All the serendipity was amazing, wasn't it? Really? We co-produced the project right from its first inception. That you have held the group and supported everybody and taught us all so much about taking space, compassion, speaking out. It's just been inspirational. Fabulous Rose Thorne.
Thank you, Karen.
I've very much enjoyed working with Carrie, who has just been very flexible, holding the not knowing, because we don't know what's going to be created, we don't know what's going to happen. And I think Carrie's done that wonderfully. And in my role as project coordinator, I was very aware that I would be holding and supporting global majority people in a process that would potentially be very emotive for them, possibly re-trigger them, and might be a project where they'd have to look at the power imbalances that happen for us, global majority people, day to day.
We need more white allies because it's exhausting. Yeah. So I just also want to big up Carrie as well.
It was just great to have a time when we could all relax and talk about the project and how it went.
I remember we sat around this table. Carrie was here with the artefacts from the museum. None of us knew each other.
Our very first meeting, we talked about the origins of our names as an icebreaker, and I brought some museum objects, a quiz really, just to get people chatting about what the objects might be, and we passed them around.
I came to Wales and the last thing I ever imagined was being part of a global majority group, you know, black and brown and mixed faces. It was lovely to just feel connected in that way.
Actually, that meeting was when Shamira instantly knew, wasn't it? Like,
Shamira was there, yeah.
Lots of the group were sort of like, oh, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to, you know, I've got to think about it and learn more and everything. And Shamira was like, no, I know what I want to do, and it's about identity.
So much beauty has come from this, not just for the project, but just with meeting everyone and forming our relationships as well. It's been so life-changing, It really has been. It felt warm. It was nice to engage with everyone and hear their backgrounds, their heritage, and then how they are navigating their lives in this part of Wales. It allowed us to be open. We weren't afraid to express ourselves, and I think that was very important.
Receiving the invitation to go down to the British Museum and the British Library and the Natural History Museum was incredibly exciting as a curator, but also with the group going and seeing it with fresh eyes and enjoying seeing all of the objects that we were going to have an opportunity to work with and meet all of the people from the British Museum we were co-creating this exhibition with. It was a really special trip.
When I was doing my art GCSE, I studied a woman called Maria Sibylla Marion. It was very interesting to me. When we went to the museum, they got it out especially so I could see it, and it was so cool. All the colours were super vibrant still, and her work was just so detailed and intricate.
You've just gone to the museum, and you're feeding back
That's right.
the museum. And as soon as I sat down, I could feel she was looking at me, and I went, make a paper. Yeah, draw that girl. It's like a robotic, isn't it? Draw her. Draw the baby.
It was just great to have a time when we could all relax and talk about what we want to do in the future as well, because it really feels this isn't the end of something, this is the start of something.
I want to work in a museum.
You want to work in a museum?
Yeah.
This project's made for you then, isn't it?
That is why we're on this project. Somehow I heard about that there'd be the trip to the museums in London, and I said, there's this thing, Indigo, and it probably get to go to London, and she was like, we're doing it!
This is some of my coins from my collection. I actually just put them in these cases. Before they were just kind of in a bag.
So how have you organised them, Indigo? Are they in date or are they
Right
in...
now they're in order of date. I wrote down. Wow. First one is 1998 and the last one is 2023.
Wow.
Have you got a favourite one?
No. I liked having people look at my coin collection because I like showing it to people, but I've run out of like friends and family. I hope they'll find it interesting to look at all the little pictures because that's my favourite part.
What's really resonating for me is the whole Sloane getting his collection in and writing it all down. So it feels like a real link across time.
Like a train of a monarch who's about to be crowned.
It's actually the wave. When a boat goes, the trail of water behind is called a wake. So this is called wake.
Yeah.
And this is my global majority compass.
Oh, Rose, it's absolutely...
Centering ourselves, of course. Of course, our early ancestors, they navigated by the stars. This is the global majority map. I think it's a Peter's projection of what the actual size.
Without England, ginormous.
Exactly, centering everything, Europe and England. I started to do these figures that were supposed to be swimming, but they looked like they were drowning.
They do.
And then are they pushed or are they escaping? You know, are they floating? Are they free? I think I'm trying to make a connection with what's still happening. People are still in the seas, not making it. Migration is just part of living. People aren't bad people. Birds, plants move around the world.
Rose, can I ask you, have you done these figures? Because this is just, when we were in the World Museum in Amsterdam, did the diagram of the ships, where it shows how many people you can squeeze into space. Is that what the inspiration was?
Even in British Museum, those drawings are so powerful that, these figures are lined up here, but boat goes this way, and then they have to make space as fit as many people as they can, and it's just overwhelming.
I had no idea what I was doing, by the way. That's why it's extended, you know, I'm extended to the top. I didn't even know it's going to be a curtain.
I like it. It's okay to just make things and then meaning will appear.
Yes.
Because subconsciously that artist is doing for a reason, you know, is making for a reason, but not, you know, not deliberately knowing, not preconceiving things.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you know, it shows that, you know, new meanings are coming out now.
Yeah. When we talk about racism and oppression, to me, I feel it viscerally. When I walk into spaces, I'm tight in my throat, or I don't feel welcome, or my heart goes because I'm going to say something and someone's going to get upset, or I'm scared that another person's going to be angry at me. So I really wanted something in the body. My body. This is my body outlined.
To tell my story, I think I need to sit with people with equal voice, and sometimes it is difficult because end of the day it's a game of power dynamic, and I think working on this particular project, I think it was a reality check for me to be prepared. You know, if you want to be an artist, and if you want to challenge these practices, if you want to find your voice and voice your voice, then be prepared, because it's not going to be easy and straightforward. Even though that world claims that things are changing. My voice is not working. My voice is not working. My voice is not working. My performance is all about calling people in instead of calling people out, inviting them in so they can join these conversations. My voice is not working. I was inspired by repetition, but I was not going on the path of making it aggressive. My voice is not working. I want to make it a very polite and civilized sort of way of invitation. I don't want to come across this angry man who wants to challenge us. I think I just want to have a conversation. I deliberately decided to remove any skin tonality so I can make it in a way colorless. I think by doing that, what I'm doing is basically removing my individual identity from this work and making it a collective experience and collective performance and collective movement. My rocking is a response which you can find in people with mental health problems and trauma particularly, and I think that this movement brings calm to me, you know, rocking, and there's a religious context as well, you know, while reciting something people rock and people find peace and calm in that. My voice is not working. My voice is not working. These ghostly figure appearing behind these movements, I see them as sort of ancestors. So it's not just about me, it's about us as collective people. My voice is not working. My voice is not working.
Which is your favourite? Do you have a favourite?
It's hard. I like your one, Rose. I think because I started with that one and it was easy to adapt. Yeah. I do like Indigo and Nikki. It was lovely because I was already coming with a friend, but to meet new friends who are artists as well was fantastic, because I was always trying to find other artists, other people, anybody else create stuff here in Wales, especially in West Wales as well, trying to reach out to those groups, and I find them quite close, and sometimes they're a little bit shy of newcomers coming in, so it was quite hard but isolating. So finding people like Dea and yourself and Nina and Abid was just lovely, because everyone just had focusing on the same thing and wanted to produce something beautiful, so that was fantastic.
each one really captures something essential about
Yeah.
the individual.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that way, you know, they're such brilliant portraits, as well as technically looking so beautiful and
wonderful.
recognisable.
Excellent. An honour from the curation.
Just look at the expressions on everybody's face.
Yeah.
I think you just look kind of inquiring and kind of thoughtful.
I see you as holding yourself in a... Yeah, it's very dignified. Yeah. You were saying you might do little bits of touching up here and there. Or...
I think skin color needs to be a little bit darker or accurate.
Indigo, isn't it?
And the little baby as well. Or maybe it's the light. And you can take it or leave it. It's just my opinion. People are looking a bit
What's that?
lighter than brighter.
Indigo is about 5 shades lighter than she was through Mae Lleisiau because she's been ill for so long. So she is normally quite a lot browner than she is. So
She's got a rose
I was
in it.
more like your kind of skin.
yeah, you weren't far off.
That is the only reason I was asking about the material, because sometimes material doesn't offer you the diversity in terms of skin color.
Yes.
Same with makeup and everything.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
pigment, basically.
If you were to take them home and touch them up, would you then...
In one of our discussions, Dea said, of course Mikuni's your daughter. You can see that she's your daughter. And it was just interesting to know that somebody else can see, because even though I laugh about it, when people say, is that your daughter? I kind of think, can you not see? Why is this child following me around for like a year? I thought it was your friend. And in a little way, it does hurt to know that people are disassociating us. Even though, you know, our mannerisms are the same, our voices, the way we sing is the same as well. But none of those things matter because people are just seeing the shade of her skin and they see no connection between me at all. So, yeah, that was quite interesting in depicting Indigo and Mikuni within that quadriptych showed that, look at them, they're all connected, they all have shared heritage, we're all part of the same human family. It was a passive kind of protest for anybody that looks and says, oh, is that your yes. Like this. Because yeah, I was thinking, how can they not see? But then that's what Dea said, how can they not see?
It was constructive criticism.
No,
not to...
I asked you. That's why you're. That's why she directed it to you.
No, we know that we're going to get thoughtful feedback from you.
Take 7. Right. These are my hands. My left hand represents that nothing belongs to me. I come to this world empty-handed, and I'll leave this world empty-handed. And this one represents, in the culture I grew up, sort of cultural education that always give to other people in terms of food, in terms of money, to help them. But also don't shy away if you need help. So it's a sort of mutual relationship, help each other.
Very psychedelic hand.
I think, yeah, I made the right choice. And not redoing it. I think deterioration is part of
2 at once.
Part of life.
They are not finished yet, so they're going to get darker. Yeah. But I'm also working from photographs, which are quite different.
Yeah.
So they look a bit grey. That's because of the Welsh style.
Yeah.
Wow.
Little boy.
So there's actually Welsh soil on them there.
Ash.
Wow. Welsh. Really changes the colour. It's kind of quite spooky. It is, isn't it?
It's real.
Yeah.
I feel like it is these people from the past that were trying to like come
Fragments.
and the history itself is dark and it's a dark story.
It's like a ghost story.
I should be glad to hear that the black boy behaves himself to your satisfaction, that being what I proposed to myself in making you such a present. I entreat you dispose of him as you mentioned according to his deserts. Meantime, let me presume to give my humble respects to your honoured lady and family. Alicia Hughes, the curator of the Sloane collection at the British Museum, brought this excerpt from the letter to our attention. I feel really grateful that she has worked so hard to unearth these little fragments, to shine a light on these little bits of evidence that we have about some of the people of African heritage who were enslaved. I feel quite ambiguous about many aspects of the project. There's so many positives to it, so many great experiences and so many interesting things to learn. There's so many wonderful aspects of the collection and of the project. And at the same time, there's so much sorrow and sadness and challenging aspects of what happened in the 16th, 17th century and onwards. So my hand's partially open, and that could be seen as a gesture of giving, or it could be seen as holding, and I guess just an open space for us to fill in the blanks.
Do you know what? I do actually prefer it coloured. I didn't think I would. Yeah. Am I allowed to say that word? Yeah.
You can't take on that.
Yeah. Indigo's been my advisor.
Have you? I met like every few hours. I'm coming. It's very familiar. Indigo.
I have a friend who's exhibiting indigo, and yeah, we became good friends, and we went down to the beach and just, you know, spent some time and looked at different dogs and stuff. So yeah, that was kind of fun. And then I got to see her exhibition at the exhibition hall, and it was good. Now whenever I see like collections of coins, I always send a picture and send it to her.
Yeah, Makuni's really great. And we're even going to meet up outside of the group now.
We would talk about our like heritage and our families, and you know, could be related.
In many cultures, we have these trees where people tie things to the trees, hoping for love or hoping for health or wealth, no doubt. So this is going to be mounted on plinth, and then we're going to have those brown postal tag label things. And the visitors are going to be invited to write something down about their identity or their response to the exhibition. So the postal labels are something about movement of people, and maybe against or with your own will. There was something about the vegetation and the movement of plants and animals and people, and how we all respond to our own environments and the vegetation around us, and the meanings we bring to trees, I suppose, especially.
The people who were not documented, unknown, indigenous people of the lands where things were taken from them.
It was all new territory. So I'm literally walking in blind. But I knew the things that I required everyone to describe and to speak about. I felt that was so powerful in regards to confirming who we are on the backs of those who didn't have the opportunity to do so back then. And it makes such a huge difference.
And so does your film. So now how does that feel?
That felt amazing. I identify as a Black British woman. I was born in England. I had to do some additional research because I knew that whatever may be said, when you're dealing with an institution or people from that institution and they have a clear idea of what they want to manage you to do, I didn't want to be managed.
My name's Rose Thorne.
You held us up, Rose, and you didn't have to. You literally wrapped your arms around us, and having that support, especially knowing the things that we as Black and brown people go through and have gone through for many years, and coming up against a group or an institution that are still showing those signs of their allyship is just not really showing. In that hard time, the beauty that we had together collectively, it felt so warm, and yeah, we felt so supported. We felt strong.
How was it as a Black woman directing a white filmmaker? How was that?
Well, let me just put it this way. Alice is so easy to get along with. And throughout that course, when we were trying to understand each other in conceptually, with me sending her images or ideas, and her trying to understand it and then execute it. It's great having someone who doesn't try to take over, right? I love playback because I've never seen anything like that before. It was quite emotional as well because they were acting upon or performing something that was thoughts in my head or in my heart, and having it presented to me was quite scary at times.
Into a different apartment without my permission.
How many email trails are there?
Because we feel we have to now.
This whole journey has really, for me, just opened up a lot about owning my heritage, reclaiming it and celebrating it. For the first time, I sort of very happy, feeling very happy in my skin, you know.
I feel very comfortable with space and people.
Yeah.
It's just the process of working with institution.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love my group.
That was the sense I got. And I thought it was really.
I just want to find a solution how to make institutions, particularly galleries, museums, castles, National Trust properties, how to make these spaces truly available and open for all people.
I am just very grateful that we've all had a moment on film so that with any future generations to come, that they can see it and know our words based on a particular moment in time that happened in history, our history. We know our ancestors didn't have the opportunity.
For me, it feels really important and significant. We were really exploring and talking about some aspects of history and the present that I think really need to be talked about more, and really impact a lot of people in the world to this day.
The project was really beneficial for the museum in so many ways. Working with the British Museum helped to raise the profile of the museum, and the amazing work that the Voices from the Edge group did as well. It's laid the foundations for future opportunities to co-create projects with the group, and I'm really excited about that.
Makuni, come up on the step. Can you see Makuni on the floor?